The story begins on what seems like an ordinary night. College student Jay is in the middle of a sweet romance. She's on a date with her new boyfriend, Hugh, ready to watch a movie. They're enjoying the tender moments of young love. While waiting for the movie to start, they get bored and decide to play a little game. Jay picks someone at random and asks Hugh to guess who it is. Hugh looks around the theater and asks if it's the girl in the yellow dress by the door. Jay follows his gaze and looks toward the door, but there's no one there. Hugh realizes the person he picked doesn't exist. His face instantly tenses up, as if he's seen something terrifying. He abruptly decides to leave. Pulling Jay out of the theater, Hugh drives Jay to an abandoned building. In the dim moonlight, they share an intimate moment in the car. Jay thinks this marks the beginning of their romantic relationship, but it's actually the start of a nightmare. While Jay is still lost in the warmth of the moment, Hugh suddenly does something shocking. He covers her nose and mouth with a towel, knocking her unconscious. When Jay wakes up again, she finds herself tied to a wheelchair. She's trapped in the abandoned building. Hugh stands before her, his eyes filled with fear and regret. He begins to explain a bizarre truth. There is something, an unseen creature. It can take on the appearance of anyone, and it will keep coming after the cursed person, never stopping, until it tears its victim apart. The only way to pass the curse on is through intimacy. Hugh admits that during their time in the car, he passed the curse to Jay. Jay can't believe something so absurd. Hugh wheels her closer to the edge of the building, and then, she sees it. A naked woman is slowly walking toward them. Hugh panics and tells Jay that the curse has now shifted to her. From now on, the creature will hunt Jay, and he will be safe at least for the time being. But if Jay dies, the curse will come back to him. As he speaks, the terrifying figure gets closer and closer. Hugh hurriedly pushes the wheelchair away and flees with Jay. Later, he drops Jay at her home and disappears. The real horror begins the next day. While sitting in class, Jay glances out the window. An elderly woman is walking straight toward her. Jay feels a chill down her spine. She quickly gathers her things and leaves the classroom. But the woman is already in the hallway. Even more terrifying, no one else can see her. Jay finally realizes Hugh was telling the truth. Jay seeks out her younger sister, Kelly, and their friend Paul, who has secretly had feelings for her. She tells them about the creature. Paul decides to stay the night to protect her, but trouble still finds them. Late at night, Jay can't sleep. She sits in the living room talking with Paul. Suddenly, they hear a noise coming from the kitchen. Paul goes to check, but the source of the noise is gone. He rushes upstairs to call the police. Curious, Jay steps into the kitchen. A half-naked woman suddenly crawls through the broken window. A disturbing fluid drips from her body. The woman slowly advances toward Jay. Terrified, Jay dashes into the bedroom to hide, but the others can't see the creature. To them, the room is empty. Then comes a knock on the door. Hearing her friend's voice, Jay cautiously opens it, but behind her friend stands a tall, airy man. Jay panics and jumps out the window to escape. At that moment, their neighbor Greg happens to see her. Jay remembers Hugh's warning, never hide in a place with only one way out, otherwise, the creature will corner you. She flees to an open park, finally escaping the pursuit for now. When her friends find her, Greg decides to help. The next day, they set out together to track down Hugh for answers. Following the address Greg provides, they arrive at a rundown house. The windows are all boarded up. Empty cans hang near the window. Like an alarm system, it's clear that someone set this up to watch for the creature. Even stranger, the medicine cabinet is filled with bottles whose labels have been torn off. Perhaps Hugh has been dealing with something he couldn't speak of. In an old magazine, they find a photo. The photo shows a school uniform. Using that clue, they locate the school. Eventually, they find Hugh. Hugh admits he's also a victim. A few days ago, he had a one-night encounter with a stranger at a bar. That's how he got cursed. Now, as long as Jay stays alive, the creature won't come after him. But if Jay dies, the curse will return to him. Hugh advises Jay to pass it on to someone else as soon as possible. He claims it would be easier for a girl to do that. It sounds selfish and cruel, but according to him, it's the only way to survive. To escape the creature, they headed to a beachside vacation house. Jay set up a warning system using soda cans. Greg even taught her how to use a gun, so she could protect herself in case of danger, but the creature could show up at any time. While they were sunbathing on the beach, it quietly approached Jay, taking on the appearance of her best friend. Jay was terrified and panicked. She ran off alone, jumped into a car, and sped away. But in her frantic escape, she lost control and crashed into a cornfield. She passed out and was rushed to the hospital. In the hospital, Greg, who had always liked Jay, decided to help her by sacrificing himself. He willingly became intimate with Jay, hoping to transfer the curse to himself. In the days that followed, Jay kept a close eye on Greg, worried about his safety. Greg, however, went about his life as if nothing had changed. He was confident nothing bad would happen, but a few nights later, Jay saw a man in pajamas appear at Greg's door. He smashed the window with a rock and climbed inside. By the time Jay rushed over, it was already too late. Greg had been killed in a horrifying way by the creature. This meant the curse had returned to Jay once again. She had no choice but to keep running, spending a long, fearful night alone in the wild. When Paul learned the truth, he confessed his feelings for Jay and offered to take on the curse himself. Jay was moved by his sincerity, but she didn't want to put another friend in danger. In the end, they came up with a plan. They decided to lure the creature into a swimming pool and use electrical equipment to destroy it. The group brought a variety of electrical appliances to the school's indoor pool. Jay went into the water as bait and waited. After a long, tense wait, the creature finally appeared, but it was smarter than they had expected. Instead of going into the water, it began throwing the appliances into the pool, almost electrocuting Jay. Since the others couldn't see the creature, Jay had to call out its position so Paul could shoot. Unfortunately, he missed, and one of his bullets accidentally hit Jay's best friend in the leg. Luckily, another shot hit the creature in the head. Jay seized the moment and scrambled out of the pool. She watched as the water turned red with blood, a sign that the creature might finally be dead. Afterward, Jay and Paul grew closer and confirmed their feelings for each other. In the final scene, they walked down the street hand in hand, seemingly at peace, but behind them, a stranger follows at a slow, steady pace. Is he just a passerby, or is he the relentless creature that never dies? The answer was actually given at the very beginning. 30 years ago, a girl ran out of her house in the middle of the night. She drove alone to the beach. The next morning, her body was found washed up on the shore. This proved that the creature never truly disappears. It continues to pass from one person to another, never stopping. The entire film is, in fact, a metaphor. The creature spreads through intimacy, and once you're infected, you can never fully escape it. In severe cases, it can even be deadly. The director wrapped this serious theme inside the shell of a horror movie. It's a reminder that while we may seek pleasure, we must also protect ourselves. Some dangers that seem far away are actually much closer than we think. Once they take hold, they can be almost impossible to get rid of.